Hello viewers, you're welcome to your show, my show, our show, The Digging Deep Show, and thank you so much for tuning into the program this week. We appreciate you. We know we are on a different level. We promised 2015 that it's a year where we are bringing development, and we want to develop you. Yes, I mean you who is watching right now. I hope you have called a friend to tell a friend that the Digging Deep Show is now on air. If you haven't done that, may you please do so, because today is a different day. This month, the month of August, we are just discussing about the future, what the future holds, mainly in business. Where are we going from here? How can we use the technology at our advantage? And in the house, we have a man who is an internet entrepreneur. And I know some of you are asking, what is an internet entrepreneur? But he's here to explain to us. Sir, please introduce yourself.
Thanks for having me on the show, Kuzi. My name's Amir, and I'm an internet entrepreneur. I help, part of what I do is I help people get started with the internet and get their businesses online and use the internet in the new way that we can in 2015. So that's what I do, and I've been teaching around the world. I've been in Dubai, in Oman, in Abu Dhabi, in different places in Pakistan. I have students from Kenya, South Africa. So now I'm back in London, so just helping people here.
Why internet of all? We have our own way of marketing. Some they talk of network marketing and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Why did you just thought of internet at this point in time?
Well, I originally got into it, 1999, when I just saw that this device is gonna change everything. What you're doing now, you've got TV, you're putting the show on Faith TV, but you also uploading it online, so you're slowly building your viewers. And all this stuff used to be very expensive, buying airtime and getting on TV and producing, but now a lot of guys or girls can start using from their bedrooms, and they can start their own little shows online. So you can see that this basically, a mobile phone is a computer, and now it's less than $100. People in the developing world can afford it. Everyone has one, and it's just a way of how you use that computer most effectively. So now you just have to think about a way that everyone in there has a device with them that allows them to connect, and now you need to think of products and services that you can sell to them using this device.
So in other words, you're saying internet is the next big thing.
Well, it's already there. I mean, it is the next big thing, but it's at a time where 80-90% of people in the UK use it. Places like Africa is close to 20%, and it's growing rapidly. So it's here already. It's already, applications like Google Maps to YouTube. It's now integrated part of life. And whereas 10 years ago, if you're starting a new product, a lot of people would ask, what is the internet? They wouldn't be happy about using the credit cards. Now people are ready to spend with you as well.
And whenever we present something, people, they ask what are the opportunities in it, and what opportunities do we have in the internet, especially for the year 2015?
Yeah, now you can become a micro entrepreneur. So just little things like Uber or Lyft, these are taxi companies that provide a platform for people to mix, and you can just start. If you're just looking for a small income, you can start by becoming a cab driver. But you're working for yourself. So that is like if we draw out a pyramid, at the bottom is something that anyone can get into, like you can get jobs on Odesk or Elance, where you can start working for yourself as a freelancer. Then if you go a bit, you want to create a bit more wealth, you need to become a more high-skilled person. So if you're the best graphic designer, you're going to start making much more money than a graphic designer.
But on the other hand, as well, some might ask, why get into entrepreneurship? We grew up seeing our fathers working 9 to 5. They were employed by companies. 30 years, given certificates and, you know, those nice war watches. Why this new thing of entrepreneurship?
Well, it's easier now to start than it was before
Uh-huh.
at any other time in history. So basically, if we go back 200 years, people were entrepreneurs. You know, they worked for your father's business. If your father was a shoemaker, you would get into shoemaking. Then in the last 150 years, we've become corporate people, joining big organizations. But now with the internet, it's easier to start again, thinking of creative ideas, start becoming an entrepreneur, taking a bit of risk, and you know, you can always switch between a career and entrepreneurship. You can try something out, either on the side or full time. It doesn't work out, you come back to a career. An average American has 14 different jobs by the time they retire. So they're switching every 2-3 years, and so it's the same with society now. Like people are, you know, entrepreneurship doesn't necessarily mean you're going down a different career path. It could help you get back into a normal career as well.
You mentioned that you've been to Kenya, been to South Africa, and you know most of our viewers they're from Africa. What's the difference between being an entrepreneur here in United Kingdom compared to Kenya or South Africa or Zimbabwe, where I come from?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of protection for entrepreneurs here. So for instance, if you start a business, it doesn't work out, you've got bankruptcy protection laws. So you don't personally go to jail or something like that. It's very easy to start up a company in the UK. It'll cost you 15-20 pounds to start on Companies House and register something. There's a lot more disposable income people have here. And especially on the internet, they're already 80-90% using it. In places where I have students like I have Zimbabwean students and I have Kenyan students, the market for them is a lot, you know, they're aiming at only the rich part of the country. So they're like, especially online at the moment, the top 10, 20%, 30% of the country can afford the services. Whereas in the UK, something like Uber or some of these technologies, more people can afford it. So you have a lot more creativity going on and more startups happening here in an advanced country because everyone's got connections. In places like Kenya, and they're still doing more traditional businesses, so selling furniture online, doing something that is physical. Whereas here you have a lot of creative ideas coming into the economy.
So what does the future hold for us? Are we getting into a situation or a scenario whereby we won't be able to see each other? Because now I'm seeing some of the events which you guys are coaching people and training your people. You're using Skype. You're using other social networks. Just you being here in the UK and people being in Africa. And if you want to work on my computer, you need something, you can do that. Get into my computer whilst you are at your house. Where are we heading? Are we not dividing ourselves from being that big society where we know each other to just somebody who is out there and, you know, separating ourselves from?
I mean, personal interaction is still important. I mean, you know, you still need to meet people to get a lot of ideas done. But on the same hand, you can diversify now. So you can, if you have an idea, you're based in the UK and let's say you're of Nigerian origin, what you can do is you can hire people that work in Nigeria while you're based here to work on your idea. Now, especially because you have an audience that are from all over the world, as you said, from Africa, from Asia. And what this allows them to do is have a business back in their home countries and manage it from here, where it wasn't possible maybe 20 years, 30 years ago, where a call to Zimbabwe would cost you, $2-3 a minute. Now you can start having some business opportunities in Zimbabwe from right here. So you will have a lot more of that happening in the coming years. You'll have the rate of innovation is just getting faster and faster. So the change that happens in society is getting faster and faster because more and more innovations coming. What you'll have is in places like Africa, a lot more innovation coming as well because now they have access to the same knowledge that was available only in the best universities in the UK or in the US. Now that knowledge is being spread across the continents quicker, so you'll have a lot more entrepreneurs. Maybe the next Bill Gates will be from Africa. So that is coming up in the next couple of years.
You have a book, Internetism, How to Create Wealth in the Internet Economy.
Yeah.
What is it all about? It's so catchy, Internetism.
Basically, I started getting asked a lot of questions from people on how to get started online. And what it does is it just goes through and teaches people how to get started, what is the internet, how is wealth created. So a lot of people might not realize about protecting the brand and how to get really wealth created online. So it goes through, it tells you a lot of the different types of business models you can use, from affiliate marketing. So this is where companies might pay you to advertise for them, to network marketing, to creating using Google AdSense and a lot of other advertising platforms that you can use. And it's really aimed at people who are in the beginning stages to get started online.
So in other words, you can say the business of the 21st century is all packed in this book.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, it is.
And what benefits have you had so far after publishing the book?
Well, I mean, it's easier now to publish a book than it's ever been. And what you can do is, what a book does is, it gives you authority to speak to people. So what happens is you get a lot of business opportunities that come through from publishing a book, where people read your book, they contact you, they say, oh, I want to do business with you. And so there's trust that's being built. And so this is what, some of your viewers might be interested in starting in publishing their own book. They can go to somewhere like createspace.com. They can, for instance, you're doing a TV show. You can say how to do a TV show for people. You write out some of your own content, your own knowledge. You put it down. That's taken you years to learn. And what will happen is you can upload it to Amazon directly. So they can do print on demand, where anyone orders a book, they'll get it through. And what that does is it increases your visibility in the community.
So in other words, we have passed the era of going to a publisher and you have loads of books in your closet you look for storage.
Yeah. Well, that took a lot of investment. So if you went to a publisher, you would need to at least have 5,000 books that are being printed out. The publisher typically takes about a year to do it. But you can go down the self-published path. Initially, you can get started on it and do it. And it's very expensive, yes, to print those copies, to have them in storage. The vast majority of books, they're not going to sell hundreds of thousands. They're going to sell a few hundred copies or a few thousand copies at the most. So it's a lot easier way to get into the business.
Getting back to our issue of entrepreneur and using technology, there's this issue of people, and as much as people still want to buy online, security. How secure are we with our credit cards, with our information? Our database, because people sound as if they're just hungry to get your contact details. How secure are we as we're heading towards this internetism kind of a thing, which you guys are pulling us into?
Well, there's always a risk as soon as you go online that something will get hacked or used inappropriately. So there's always, the safest way is to avoid the internet. But most people can, they see the convenience of it. Now, you're always protected. If you use a credit card online, you can always go to your bank and dispute any charges. So you have to keep an eye out on your statements to see if someone's been inappropriately using your credit cards. But this is why brands like Amazon are worth billions of dollars, is because they built that trust that people need. So they built over 15, 20 years, they built that trust that says, okay, Amazon you can trust, Argos you can trust. And so there's less risk with the more trusted brands. But now more and more people are buying from smaller vendors as well. Small mom and pop stores that can get started. But it's important to realize that you're protected online, so you can always dispute charges with this.
And on the other hand, some people, they are very much against the internet, boss. Not only internet, but the new technology holistically.
Yeah.
With the fact that if you get into Asia today, most of the tills have been closed. We now have self-serving. If you go on the petrol station, it's kind of, you get there, put your credit card, you fill up, then off you drive. The tour guests we used to have, people who collect money at the tour guests, now you do everything on the internet. Is internet not, making more people unemployed as opposed to employment?
Well, there was a survey they did in France, and they saw that in 2 or 3 years' time, the internet destroyed 560,000 jobs. So there was different types of work that, as you said, got out. But at the same time, it created 2 million jobs, new jobs in the economy. So there's more job creations will move on. So those people that were maybe in Tesco's, they were doing, for instance, the cashier stuff. There might be more high-skilled jobs in doing search engine optimization for the Tesco website. So there's different types of jobs and skills that are being created.
So whilst other jobs are being laid out, there are some which are being created.
Yeah, graphic design, video editing, a lot of this, advertising, online marketing, all these jobs are coming into the market. So more and more people are getting into this thing. So you can see, but the challenge with this is that you always have to keep upgrading your skill set. You can't just relax and do the same thing over and over again.
What you used to know in 2005, you can no longer use it in 2015.
Exactly. So, the thing is, it's if a job can be done, it's a repetitive job, it will either be outsourced to a cheaper country like India or Philippines, or a computer will replace it. A computer would do it. But there's a lot more shift towards the services. So somewhere like being a barber, for instance. Now that is something that it requires a service that people are doing. Being a waiter, those are still, restaurants are still quite slow to say, I'll serve you your food automatically. There's just in the initial stages of being able to order yourself, and the robot prepares the meal and all this stuff. But it's coming in the next 15 years. They're talking about self-driving cars, so you won't have the need for taxi drivers. All these, that will, probably about 10 years, 5-10 years away, where then you replace drivers. But those changes are coming in society, but it's just that if you were a driver, you would find some other form of job to get into.
Yes, viewers, if you are just sitting down and have been holding on to your old ways of doing things, you have to step up, you have to change, you have to develop yourself, go another level. What is the impact of technology in the emerging world versus the developed world?
Well, I think the developing world is just getting caught up now. So it's just in the last 5-10 years, the smartphone started really coming into the developing world, whereas the developed world has gone there a bit faster. Now, in the developed world, there's more and more advanced services being done. So banking, for instance, where you can borrow money or get investors on platforms like Indiegogo.
Yes.
All these advanced services are coming to this part of the world, whereas in the developing world, the basic handset is there, and now they're starting to using the services like YouTube, Wikipedia. All these will start there. So developed world will still lead, but in some countries like Kenya, for instance, They have mobile payment, the M-Pesa. It's in many ways leading the world. So you'll start seeing a lot more innovations coming out from that part of the world that will start fulfilling things in developed world. So.
Amir, before you leave, your last words to the viewers. I know you might be having something and you want to speak to those who are watching us right now as a word of advice.
Well, it's a great time of life to be living at the moment. The only challenge that comes is that we have so much choice that comes on, because if you want to get into almost any business or any field, you can do the research online, you can teach yourself how to get started. But the challenge is you're going to have so many choices that you never had before. If you are someone who's graduating now from university, there's so much more different types of careers than there ever were. But have faith in yourself and your ability to keep learning and adapting, and go out and try out your ideas. Go out and learn about the skills that will help to make you successful. You'll have to try out many things. The challenge is that now if you start out, you will fail in front of many more people because your social media following, all your friends will find out. But on the other hand, all your friends, your family have a chance to help you in your ventures. So they will help you push your ideas further and get further success in your careers. So just have faith and keep going for the ideas that you want to achieve.
Thank you so much for being here with us on the Digging Deep Show. We really appreciate it. What more shall I say to our viewers apart from saying thank you so much for giving us your precious possession, which is your time, and to those who support the Digging Deep Show. Like I said, the Digging Deep Show will not go this deeper if it was not of you who are supporting us. Time permitting, God willing, we will be here again next week, same time, same channel, bringing new things. And remember to develop yourself. Till we meet again, for me and the rest of the team on the Digging Deep Show, we are signing out. I love you all. Kudzi is my name.